Hello everyone, today we will see the complete family tree of Harry Potter, so let's get into it. Peverell family. Peverell was the surname of a medieval pure-blood wizarding family. Ange Peverell, he was a pure-blood wizard, the eldest of the Peverell brothers. He was skilled in the magical arts, but personally was described as being a combative man. Cadmus Peverell, he was a pure-blood wizard, the middle of the Peverell brothers. Cadmus, like his brothers, was skilled in the magical arts, but was described as being an arrogant man. Ignatus Peverell, the youngest of the three brothers. Ignatus was also described as the humblest and wisest of them. He had an unnamed son, and later that son had a daughter, Iolanthe. She was an English witch and the granddaughter of Ignatus Peverell. She was married to Hardwin Potter. He was the eldest son of Linfred of Stinchcombe. Upon his father's death, he inherited a sizable sum of gold, as did each of his 6 siblings. His siblings are unnamed. Their father, Linfred, also known as the Potterer, he was a 12th century wizard and pioneering potioneer, credited with inventing many medicinal potions. He was the founding patriarch of the Potter family. After several years, we have Ralston. He was a member of the Wizengamot from 1612 to 1652. And Abraham, he was an American wizard and one of the original 12 Auroras in the United States of America. After many generations passed by, we have Charles. He was a pure-blood wizard, and his brother, Mr. Potter. Mr. Potter's wife Mrs. Potter, she was a witch. Their son, Henry Potter, he was either a pureblood or half-blood wizard who served on the Wizengamot from 1913 to 1921. His wife is unnamed. Together they had a son, Fleamorn Potter. He was a pureblood wizard. He attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry and was sorted into Gryffindor House. He was married to Euphemia. She was a pureblood witch. Together they had a son, James Potter I, also known as Prongs. He attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry from 1971 to 1978 and was sorted into Gryffindor. He was married to Lily. She was an English Muggle-born witch. She learned of her magical nature as a child. After Severus Snape recognized her as a witch and told her of the existence of magic, Lily attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry from 1971 to 1978. Together they have a son, Harry James Potter. He was an English half-blood wizard, and one of the most famous wizards of modern times, and the only child and son of James and Lily Potter. His aunt, Petunia Dursley, she was an English Muggle woman. During her childhood, she broke off contact with her sister and refused to have any contact with the wizarding world. Petunia's and Lily's parents, Mr. Evans and Mrs. Evans, they were British Muggle. Petunia was married to Vernon Dursley. He was an English Muggle. Together they had a son, Dudley Dursley. He was the Muggle and cousin of Harry Potter. He was obese and insolent as a result of his parents spoiling him throughout his childhood, although he became muscular in his teens. His paternal aunt, Marjorie Dursley, she was an English Muggle. She had a career in breeding bulldogs, of which she owned 12. Ripper, a particularly ferocious bulldog, was her favorite. Dudley Dursley's wife is Mrs. Dursley. Together they have 2 children. Harry is married to Ginevra Weasley, occasionally known as Gin by Harry Potter. She was an English pureblood witch. She is the first female to be born into the Weasley line for several generations. Together they have 3 children. Eldest son James Potter II. He was named in honor of his paternal grandfather and his father's godfather, James Potter and Sirius Black. Their second son Albus Potter, he was named in memory of Albus Dumbledore and Severus Snape, 2 former headmasters of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry and both great wizards that his father knew. And their youngest child and only daughter Lily Luna Potter, she was named in honor of her late paternal grandmother Lily Potter, and her middle name comes from her parents' good friend Luna Lovegood. Ginevra have 6 brothers. William Weasley, he was an English pureblood wizard, the first child of Arthur and Molly Weasley. He attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry from 1982 to 1989 and was sorted into Gryffindor House. Charles Weasley, he was second eldest son of Arthur and Molly Weasley. He attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry from 1984 to 1991 and was sorted into Gryffindor House. Percy Weasley, he was the 3rd child of Arthur and Molly Weasley. He attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry from 1987 to 1994, and was both a prefect and head boy. Fred Weasley, he was the 4th son and the middle child, the most daring and dominant among the twins of Arthur Weasley and Molly Weasley. George Weasley, he was the 5th son and the less dominant among the twins of Arthur Weasley and Molly Weasley. And Ronald Weasley, he was the 6th and youngest son of Arthur and Molly Weasley. Their father, Arthur Weasley, he was an English pureblood wizard in the employ of the Ministry of Magic. As well as a member of the Second Order of the Phoenix, he was a staunch believer in the equality of all magical and muggle folk and was the head of the Weasley family. His wife, Molly Weasley, she was an English pureblood witch and matriarch of the Weasley family. Arthur had two unnamed brothers. Their father was Septimus Weasley. He was a pureblood wizard who married Cedrella Black from Black family. Because he was considered to be a blood traitor by the Black family, the marriage caused Cedrella's removal from the Black family tree. Molly Weasley had two brothers, Gideon and Fabian. They were the member of the original Order of the Phoenix. They fought in the First Wizarding War and were murdered by 5 Death Eaters. Their parents were Mr. Pruitt and Mrs. Pruitt. Mr. Pruitt had a brother, Ignatius Pruitt. He was a pureblood wizard. He was an uncle by blood of Fabian and Gideon Pruitt, as well as their sister Molly, and an uncle by marriage of Sirius and Regulus Black. William was married to Fleur. She was a French Quarterviller witch. She attended Beauxbaton's Academy of Magic. During the 1994 to 1995 school year, she was Beauxbaton's champion in the Triwizard Tournament. Together they have 3 children, daughters, Victoire and Dominique, and son, Louis. Fleur's father, Monsieur, he was a French wizard, and mother, Apolline Delica, she was a half-Veela French witch. She was described as beautiful and blonde, like her daughters, Fleur and Gabrielle. Gabrielle was Fleur's younger sister, which I have forgot to add. Percy was married to Audrey. The couple had 2 daughters, Molly and Lucy. It is possible that one or both of their daughters were attending or starting at Hogwarts in 2017, due to the fact that her husband Percy was at King's Cross Station on September 1st that year. George was married to Angelina Johnson. She was a witch and a Gryffindor student at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. She was also a member of Dumbledore's army. Together they have 2 children, son, Fred Weasley II, and daughter, Roxanne. Ronald was married to Hermione Granger. She was an English Muggle-born. At the age of 11, she learned about her magical nature. She possessed a brilliant academic mind and proved to be a gifted student in almost every subject that she studied. Together they have 2 children, daughter Rose, and son, Hugo. Her parents were Mr. and Mrs. Granger. They worked as a dentist. They lived in a house located in England. Moving on to Black family, it is the noble and most ancient house, and one of the largest, oldest, and wealthiest pure-blooded wizarding families in Great Britain, and one of the Sacred 28. After many generations passed by, we have Sirius Black first. He was a pure-blood wizard. Phineas Nigellus Black, he was a pure-blood wizard. He attended Hogwarts as a member of Slytherin House, later becoming the school's least popular headmaster. He was married to Ursula Flint. Elladora Black, she was a pure-blood witch. She never married or had children. Lola Black, she was a pure-blood witch and the sister of Sirius, Phineas Nigellus, and Elladora Black. She married a Muggle man named Bob Hitchens, and was struck off the Black family tree and disowned. Phineas Nigellus had 5 children. Phineas Black, he was a pure-blood wizard, the second eldest son of Phineas Nigellus Black and his wife Ursula Flint. He was disowned for supporting Muggle rights and removed from the Black family tree. Belvina Black, she was a pure-blood witch. She was married to Herbert Burke. He was a wizard. Together they had 2 sons and 1 daughter. Arcturus Black II, he was a pure-blood wizard and the 3rd son of Phineas Nigellus Black and Ursula Flint. Cygnus Black II, he was a pure-blood wizard and the 4th son and youngest child of Phineas Nigellus Black and Ursula Flint. And Sirius Black II, he was the eldest son of Phineas Nigellus Black and Ursula Flint. Arcturus was married to Lysandra Yaxley. She was a pure-blood witch. She may be related to the Death Eater Corban Yaxley, and, through her daughters, the Longbottom and Crouch families. Together they had 3 children, daughter Cedrella Black, who was married to Septimus Weasley from Weasley family. Another daughter, Calidora Black, she was the eldest daughter of Arcturus and Lysandra. She was a pure-blood witch. She was married to Harfang Longbottom. He was a pure-blood wizard. Together they had 3 children, a son, and 2 daughters. And their younger daughter, Caris Black, she was a pure-blood witch, the 3rd daughter of Arcturus Black and Lysandra. She was married to Caspar Crouch. He was a pure-blood wizard, and together they had 3 children, a son and 2 daughters. Cygnus was married to Violetta Bulstrode. She was a pure-blood witch. She possibly may be related to Millicent Bulstrode. Together they had 4 children. Cassiopeia was a pure-blood witch, the eldest daughter of Cygnus and Violetta Black. She never married or had any children. Marius Black was the 3rd child of Cygnus and Violetta. He was disowned and removed from the Black family tree tapestry for being born a squib, a wizard-born person with no magical abilities. Doria Black, she was a pure-blood witch, the youngest child of Cygnus and Violetta. She was married to Charles Potter from the Potter family. Together they had a son. And Pollux Black, he was a pure-blood wizard, the eldest child of Cygnus and Violetta. Sirius's granddaughter Lucretia was a pure-blood witch from the pure-blooded Black family who was married Ignatius Pruitt, from the Pruitt family. Moving on to Slytherin family. Slytherin was the surname of a pure-blood wizarding family with several notable members, particularly Salazar Slytherin. He was a pure-blood wizard, noted for his cunning and determination. He was regarded as one of the greatest wizards of the age, respectively as a Parselmouth and as a skilled Legilimens. After Salazar, many generations passed by. He and Cadmus Peverell had a connection with Gaunt family. They were pure-blood family, and one of the Sacred 28. They had a tendency of marrying their cousins to keep their blood pure and to retain the traits of their ancestor, most notably the ability to speak Parseltongue. Corvinus Gaunt, he was a pure-blood wizard, and a member of the pure-blood House of Gaunt. As such, he was one of the direct descendants of Salazar Slytherin and was a Parselmouth, as well as being presumably very inbred and rich. Gormlaith Gaunt, she was an Irish pure-blood dark witch. She was the founder of Ilvermorny School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Gormlaith had attended Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, where she was sorted into Slytherin House. Rhyonac, she was an Irish pure-blood witch, and one of the founders of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Marvolo Gaunt was a pure-blood wizard of the House of Gaunt and descendant of Corvinus Gaunt. He had two children, daughter Merope, she was a British pure-blood witch, and son, Morfinn, he was a British pure-blood wizard. He believed strongly in pure-blood supremacy and had an intense hatred toward Muggles. Merope was married to Tom Riddle Sr. from the Riddle family. He was an affluent English Muggle who lived in the village of Little Hangleton located in Yorkshire. He was the son of wealthy Muggles Thomas and Mary Riddle, who raised him to be snobbish and rude. Together they had a son, Tom Marvolo Riddle, later known as Lord Voldemort or the Dark Lord, was an English half-blood wizard considered to have been the most powerful and dangerous dark wizard of all time. He was amongst the greatest wizards to have ever lived, often considered to be the second most powerful wizard in history after Albus Dumbledore. He had an affair with Bellatrix Lestrange from the Black family. She was a British witch, the eldest daughter of Cygnus and Druella Black. She was fanatically loyal to Lord Voldemort and was among the most dangerous and sadistic of his followers. Before her death, Bellatrix secretly gave birth to an illegitimate daughter named Delphine, whom she conceived with her beloved master, Lord Voldemort. Rhyonac was married to William Sayer, from Sayer family. He was an Irish pure-blood wizard. He was the descendant of Morrigan. She was a famous Irish pure-blood witch, notable for being an animagus who could turn into a crow. William had a daughter, Isolde Sayer. She was a famous Irish pure-blood witch, the only child and daughter of William and Rhyonac Sayer. When she was just a girl, her parents were murdered in a house fire by her aunt Gormlaith Gaunt, a vicious dark witch and pure-blood supremacist. She was married to James Stewart. He was an English Nomai stonemason. Together they had twin daughters, Martha Stewart II and Rhyonac Stewart. They also had two adoptive sons, Chadwick and Webster. That was all in Harry Potter Family Tree. Thanks for watching. Do like, share and subscribe for more amazing videos. See you all in next video. Till then, take care.